Wogan Ready TV, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Remember, hit that bell so you'll be notified every time I drop some content. Now, we're going to get into this. Now, I just recently posted a video, on a topic of Big Gene Deal and, Mace and Cam. They was laughing. They was laughing about the night. Not laughing at the situation, what happened to Biggie. But Mace was saying that security was hiding behind cars, crying, talking about they want their blanket. Big Gene felt some type of way, because I guess Mace didn't clarify the situation to say it wasn't him. Me personally, I think it was him. But it is what it is. Mace never said no names. And shout out to Poetic Flacco, because he made a video, and I was about to say the same exact thing that Poetic Flacco said. Gene Deal said, yeah, Mace and Stevie J was out hanging with the Crips and Bloods, whoever they was hanging with, and they came back and told Mace that, yeah, we want Big and we want Puff. And Mace came back and told, he came back and told Diddy that niggas was on their head, and he came back and told Gene Deal what was told to him. But Gene Deal, I guess his pride and shit is so hurt. Like, how could this nigga, put that out there? But, like I said, Mace never said his name. Now I'm starting to believe it was him hiding behind the car talking about he want his blanket, because he trying to flip it on Mace like everything is his fault. Like, yeah, you was supposed to tell Big. You never told Big that niggas wanted him dead. Like, listen, let me tell you something, man. Anybody that know Biggie lyrics, that's all Biggie rapped about was death. Biggie always felt like somebody was trying to murk him. So, we're not going to put that on Mace, man. That was corny. That was corny, because he came back and alerted you, which is head of security, and he came back and told Puff. And how do you know he didn't pull Big aside and told Big what was told to him? What was Biggie supposed to do if Mace did tell him? If Mace told him or didn't tell him, what the fuck was going to change? Because y'all being security, y'all ain't do shit. Y'all ain't move out. You know what I'm saying? What difference does it really make if you think Biggie was going like, oh man, they want to kill me? Hey, yo, Puff, man, I'm getting on the next flight. I'm going back to New York. No. You think Big ain't hear that shit a bunch of times? Niggas wanted him dead. You think Big wasn't that? You think Big was that blind and that dumb to know that Pac just got murdered and motherfuckers was looking at him and they want him next? Big knew. So Mace ain't even really had to say anything, for real, but he did his job. He came back and told you, which is head of security, and he came back and told the head of the label. So don't try to make it seem like, Mace ain't do his job. He wasn't a stand-up dude. No, y'all wasn't stand-up as security. And like I said, I ain't got nothing against Gene, but I think he full of shit. You know what I mean? I personally think he full of shit. It's like, to me, I think he in a good position right now. You know what I mean? He ran with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? He got a story to tell. They paying him whatever for all these interviews. Every time you turn on YouTube, you got a new video up. So he's doing good for himself. But don't try to rewrite history, man. If you didn't move out, you didn't move out. And I think that's a problem. He say he came up with Puff and them back in the day. If you a big time entertainer and all that, you might want to hire some security that don't really know you like that and keep it business. Because to me personally, this is how I get this. This is how I feel. I feel like Gene had something against Diddy. I don't know what it is, but I think it's some shit from back in the day. You know how you got one of them old heads that seen you grow up, and no matter what kind of work you put in, how you move, they don't even know nothing. They just remember you as that little kid or that young boy. So I think Gene always looked at Diddy like, nigga, I know you for real. You know what I'm saying? And I think Diddy problem it is a mistake for real for even hiring him, because first of all, he don't really respect you like that. You know what I mean? I don't think Gene really respect Diddy that much. You could tell. Yeah, I mean, it's evident, because he wouldn't be on here doing all these interviews he talk about his mom, all his personal shit. We wouldn't know half the shit we knew about Diddy if it wasn't for Gene. He was like the first one. You know what I mean? I think he always had something against Diddy, and I don't know what kind of conversation that they had, like leading up to Diddy letting him go, and to make Gene want to come on all these interviews and talk about all this stuff, man. And it sound like you're trying to rewrite history. Like I said, I'm a good reader of people, and I don't think Gene is telling the full truth, man. I don't think he's telling the full truth about that night, and I think like Mace. It kind of embarrassed him when he said that on his platform. I heard the conversation when Mace called up the Gene platform, and they was talking, and Mace said what he said, and he hung up the phone. I think Mace is just like, man, like he said, like say that shit. When I hear niggas talk tough, I'm like, man, I know what's up. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't move out. Y'all ain't bust your guns. Y'all rewriting history with these interviews, and I think a lot of that have to do with Gene not really having respect for Puff like that. You know what I mean? That was his young boy. He watched his young boy blow up, make all these millions. He hired him, but he's still looking at Puff like, nigga, I remember when you used to get jumped and I had to save you, and I remember when you was crying. They remember all your most vulnerable moments, and you know what I'm saying? Dudes like that, you got to keep on the outside. Don't even hire them. Hire them for something. No, you can hire them in certain situations, but I think Diddy made a big mistake by hiring Gene to be head of security. Like he should have hired some real dudes that didn't know shit about him. You know what I'm saying? And just knew that he was Diddy, and I need y'all to protect me. You know what I mean? Do your fucking job. It was too much business and personal shit with them, and that's my opinion. You know what I mean? If y'all feel like how I feel, leave it in the comments, man. You know what I mean? But this Woke and Ready TV, like this video, subscribe to this channel. I said what I said. You know what I mean? And whatever I say once, I can say twice. You know what I mean? But like this video, subscribe to this channel, man. What's your thoughts, man? I'm out.